That's a testament to LeBron, bro. The dude,
Yeah, dude.
he took the high road. He was the bigger man. He said, dude, you guys did some, even the fans, you guys did some foul shit to me, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to fucking come back to Cleveland and make good on my promise to bring a title to you guys. FiftyTwoThirty Podcast, episode 14. The man from Jersey with the best co-host in the game.
Swag.
Alright, guys, so this episode, we're shining a light. We're a little late with it, but this is the 10th year anniversary of the decision.
Well, I think it's good because we're timing it like literally 2 days before, I think.
Yeah. No, it happened July 8th.
No, but it's like 2 days before the NBA kind of restarts after the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Because the scrimmages start on the 22nd.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Basketball's right around the corner. But yeah, guys, we're shining a light on the decision. But before we get into that, we're going to need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And click that little post notification bell right next to the subscribe button. So every time we upload a new video, you guys will be one of the first ones to watch it. But anyways, let's get into the episode. So, with the decision, I don't want to just talk purely about the decision. I want to talk about the events leading into it, how the Cavs got LeBron, his time with Cleveland, as well as the aftermath of the decision. So everything leading into it and after, right? Let's start off with this. From 1987 to 1998, the Cavs were a pretty consistent playoff team. That's an 11-year span, right? 3 of those seasons, they won 50 games. So they were a 50-win team 3 times in that 11-year span, from 87 to 98. Made the playoffs 9 times. That's pretty consistent.
9 in 11 years.
9 in 11 years, bro.
That's good, man. I'll take that.
And of those 2 seasons that they didn't make the playoffs, they really only had one losing record. Because one of the years that they didn't make the playoffs, they still finished 42-40. They missed the playoffs. The AFC Bullets were 44-38.
Well, the East was good back then.
Yeah, the East it's not like how it's been lately where it's 35 wins gets you into the playoffs. But pretty much after that, after 1998, the next 5 years for the Cavs it was honestly one of the lowest points in the franchise's history. I was looking at their past records, and it was only comparable to this stretch from the late 70s to the mid 80s, where the Cavs missed the playoffs like 6 straight years. This the only thing that compares to this 5-year stretch right here that I'm going to run off of you. So it's from the 98 season to the 03 season, right? 98-99 season, Cavs go 22-28. That was the lockout shortened season.
Oh, so they weren't even that bad.
They weren't that bad, but they didn't qualify for the playoffs.
Okay.
99-2000, they go 32-50.
It's pretty bad.
2000-2001, they do the opposite of this channel. They go 30-52.
Okay.
Miss the playoffs again. 01-02, they go 29-53.
It's getting worse.
It's getting worse. And it finally hits rock bottom 02-03. The Tankapalooza for LeBron.
So they did it. They definitely
They
did.
had to.
LeBron was
they had to, man. They had to. 02-03 season, they go 17-65.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. If you take those 5 seasons and just tally it up, it's 130 wins to 248 losses over that 5-year period.
Terrible.
And I think when I did the math, it was like 26, 27 wins on average per season. So
yeah, that's a poor squad.
But it leads into the Cavs getting lucky, right? Because at the end of the day, they could have tanked for LeBron. They'll never say that they did.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you actually have to have some luck in the lottery. And they had the luck. They got the number 1 pick in 03. And they drafted LeBron. So the season before they take LeBron, like we said, 02-03 season, 17-65. LeBron's first season with the Cavs, they go 35-47. So they still missed the playoffs, the 03-04 season. That offseason, they have that whole Carlos Boozer fiasco where he was a restricted free agent. The Cavs told them to kind of waive that, or they would waive it to make him an unrestricted, and then they were going to take care of him with some more money. Or like a larger deal, more years or something. And Boozer agreed to it. Then, remember, Utah came in and they offered him this crazy deal. I mean, for the time you could say it was an overpay, but obviously once you know what you know, it wasn't an overpay. But it was something in the tens of millions over like 6 years or 5 years or something. Something way crazier than what Cleveland was ready to offer him. And he accepts it. And basically Utah just snatches Carlos Boozer, and then that transitions them into that whole process they had with the Boozer, Darren Williams. But that yeah, but that sets Cleveland back. And because mind you, I think the 03-04 season, Boozer was like a 16-10 guy. So he already was showing some flashes. Obviously enough that Utah came in and offered him that like 10, 12 $1 million contract per year over like 6 years. He was getting like a 6 year $72 million. It was that type of contract. So that immediately sets the Cavs back, right? Or at least it should. 04-05 season, Cleveland goes 42-40. So their first winning season. It's a winning season in LeBron's second year, right?
He makes the playoffs, right?
No, he doesn't make. He doesn't make it.
So 2 years.
Because that season, that was that 04-05 season that we talked about in the Nets pod, or the Vince Carter pod. They finish with the exact same record as the Nets, but they lose the tiebreaker on the last day of the regular season.
So the Nets make it in.
Yeah. So this is year 2 of LeBron with the Cavs. They still haven't made the playoffs. That offseason, they got a little proactive. They tried to get, like, I guess you could say a second star to join LeBron. That offseason, they went after Michael Redd. They went after Joe Johnson.
I remember Michael Redd.
Those are just a few names they went after.
Mm-hmm.
And they struck out on them, and then that's when they ended up signing Larry Hughes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they end up with...
From the Wizards.
Mm-hmm. They take him from the... Which looked like a good signing, because Hughes that season, what would that have been? The 04-05 season? He balled for Washington.
Yeah. Yeah, he was good, man.
He was like 22, 5-5 with some steals. That's good production.
He was a good guy.
Playing alongside Gilbert Arenas and Antoine Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Cleveland comes in. They sign Larry Hughes. This is supposed to be LeBron's co-star now. LeBron has a co-star now, right?
Yeah.
Cavs are supposed to take off and do some damage, right? And they do to a certain extent. 05-06 season, the next season, they finished 50-32. So now they're a 50-win team. That's another milestone in its own, right?
Yeah.
It's good when you get to 50 wins. That season, they played the 64-win Pistons with Ben Wallace. This is before Ben Wallace went to Chicago. They lose in 7 to them. And I think the second round, yeah, it had to be because they owned the Wizards. So I think that season they played Washington in the first round, beat them. Second round, they had a date with the Pistons. They lose in 7, bro, to a 64-win Pistons team.
So it's 3 seasons now. Still don't win a championship.
Still haven't won a championship. But at least they're taking steps in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
LeBron's third season, they're already a 50-win team. And they lose in 7 to a 64-win Pistons team. That was a good team. That was a season that Detroit had 4 All-Stars.
But that was the year they won.
Who, Detroit?
Yeah.
No.
What year was this? 04-05?
This is 05-06.
Oh, no, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they won 03-04.
Yeah.
Then Detroit made the finals again in 05, but they lost to the Spurs.
Yeah, I was going to say the Spurs one.
06-07, following season, they finished with the exact same record, 50-32. This is the season they make it to the NBA Finals.
That was when they got swept by the Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was still, if you think about it, that's still a highlight in its own, because they played Detroit in the Eastern Conference Finals. Remember? And I don't think anybody had Cleveland beating Detroit because the supporting cast wasn't all the way there yet.
Yeah, that was a tough series because was that the one where LeBron had to make a comeback? Like there was like one of the last few games.
They were down 0-2 to start that series.
Yeah.
And then they went on to win the next 4 to take the series in 6.
It's crazy.
And Game 5 was that one where LeBron had that, 29 out of the Cavs' last 30 points in that game?
That game was crazy, man.
Basically put him on his back.
He was going nuts.
Yeah, so they beat Detroit in 6 that year to make it to the NBA Finals.
They get swept.
But they get swept by the Spurs. And honestly, bro, who didn't see that?
Yeah,
the Spurs were really good.
If you look at the supporting cast, it's No, it's not even comparable.
Larry Hughes, Danielle Marshall,
Yeah.
Boobie Gibson, Andy Varejao, Zadrunas.
Yeah.
Going against Tony Parker, Ginobili,
Tim
Duncan, Bruce Bowen.
Yeah. That was a squad.
Yeah, that was a squad. So they sweep the Cavaliers out of the playoffs, right? 07-08 season, the Cavs they regress as far as the win total goes. They
49?
go to 45 and 37.
45, okay.
So they win 5 fewer games.
Yep.
That was the season that they made that like offseason trade that was with the Bulls, and they basically shipped out a whole bunch of dudes. They gave up on Larry Hughes. I forgot who else they shipped out. Oh, they shipped out Daniel Marshall. They shipped out Drew Gooden. But that was when they got Delonte West. They got a washed-up Ben Wallace. They got Wally Zerbiak, Joe Smith. And that season they go into the playoffs, and they lose in 7 to the Celtics. But that was the season that the Celtics won the title.
Yeah, that was an even better squad than the Spurs, I think.
Yeah.
Because you had those Hall of Famers, the 3 Hall of Famers. Plus you had Rondo.
Mm-hmm.
Plus you had, I think, James Posey.
Yeah, they had Posey. They had a good supporting cast.
Did they have Tony Allen?
Tony Allen, Sam Cassell, P.J. Brown.
So much
Perk.
defense. So much defense, bro.
Yeah, they were one of the best, or if not the best, defensive team in the league that season.
Yeah, that team was crazy.
And
they dominated the Lakers in the finals. Like, there was one game they just, blew them out.
Boston that season went 66-16. And they had that one playoff game against L.A. where they came back from down 24 in the finals.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was a really good team, bro. This was the first season of the Big Three in Boston. This was before KG got that little nagging injury that kind of hindered him a little bit, and Ray Allen got a little older. This was their first season, bro. Right?
Yeah, they were good, man.
LeBron with that supporting cast with Delonte, Ben Wallace, Wally.
You weren't gonna beat that. That's like
no, but it was
but
it was also even incredible that they went to 7, and that game 7. It wasn't like they went to Game 7 and then Boston flexed their muscle and blew Cleveland out.
It was a tough game.
That Game 7 came down to the wire. That was when LeBron had, I think, 45 and Pierce had 42. Pierce matched them.
Wasn't it the one where he walked away and then he got hurt?
No, that was in the finals of that season.
That was against the Lakers.
Against the Lakers,
oh,
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that was weird.
But the Cavs played them pretty close, right? But nevertheless, they're out in the semis, right? Another, I guess, season that you could go, okay, when's the title coming? That offseason, they make the Mo Williams trade with Milwaukee. They gave up, I think, Joe Smith. I forgot who else they gave up, but they didn't give up much. They brought in Mo Williams, right, for the 08-09 season.
That was Mr. 52 points, right?
Who, Mo Williams?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. that's the insider between us. Now, the 08-09 season, bro, that's when Cleveland and even LeBron, they really took that next level. 08-09 season, they go 66-16. That's a really good record.
Yeah, man.
66-16.
I think that's when everyone had him as a favorite.
That was a 21-game improvement from the season before.
That's crazy.
With damn near the same exact team, all they added was Mo Williams. But there's also a big reason. That was LeBron's first MVP season.
Yeah, so he just went in.
He went in that season. Yeah. Won the MVP. Cavs go 66-16. Sweep Detroit. Sweep Atlanta. First round and second round. Then they ran into Orlando.
With Dwight Howard.
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. You could look back on it now and you say, yeah, Orlando did have the better team.
Orlando had a ton of shooters.
Heatles, Rashard Lewis, Dwight in the paint, causing all types of problems.
They had JJ Redick, didn't they?
JJ, who was it? Jameer Nelson, Rafer Alston, Courtney Lee.
Yeah, that's a lot of shooters.
They had a lot of shooters, and when you look at it, you're like, yeah, Dwight beasted that series, and by all means, he should have. You're being guarded by Zydrunas Ilgauskas, old washed-up Ben Wallace, and Andy Varejao.
Yep, domination right there.
You should pretty much dominate, right?
Because he was mostly posting up, kicking out three. And then whenever they would miss, offensive rebounds.
He was abusing these centers.
It was insane.
He was abusing the centers. And then, you're going to send a double team?
Kick it out to a 3.
And there was more to it than that, bro, because there was also a height difference. If you remember, Heatles was their small forward. He's a legit 6'10".
Yeah.
Rashard Lewis was their power forward, a legit 6'10". So it's not even like this is a small ball lineup. You got a 6'10" small forward, 6'10" power forward, and then what was Dwight, like 6'11"? Yeah. That's a big front court, and two of these dudes can shoot the three.
Yeah, I think both of them competed in three-point contests.
Yeah.
Like, I think Rashard got close to winning one.
Did he? I don't think Heatles did.
Heatles didn't do it?
No, I don't think Heatles was.
Well, I know Rashard for definitely.
Yeah, Rashard was in it. Then in the backcourt they had Courtney Lee, who was like a solid 6'5", compared to Delonte West, because Delonte was the Cavs starting shooting guard. He was like 6'3". Yeah. So there was a couple. Well, actually, there was a lot of issues that Magic team presented for Cleveland.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you go back to 08-09, I legit thought that the Cavs could have and were going to win the title that season. Because they looked incredible, bro. You don't just fluke 66 wins and sweep through your first two rounds, and then leading into that Magic season, you're like, bruh, they're going to win this. Like, they are slaughtering teams.
How was the Magic series?
Orlando 1-6.
Yeah, so even that was pretty competitive.
Yeah, and a couple of those series, honestly, a couple of those games, like I think game 1, Cleveland lost, but they actually got out to like a 20-point lead. So Cleveland was up big. Orlando came back and stole game 1.
Damn.
Game 2 was the LeBron buzzer beater.
Yeah.
And I think there was another game in that series. I don't know if it was like 4 or 5. Same thing. Cleveland went up big, and Orlando came back and won.
And that reminds me of that Houston Rockets versus Warriors, where they kept like coming up big, and then the Warriors would come back, and then Chris Paul got injured, and then they lost.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty similar.
But yeah, so they lose to Orlando in 6, right? LeBron walks off. He doesn't shake anyone's hand. 08-09, excuse me.
This is 08-09.
Yeah, 08-09. 08-09. They win 66 games, sweep their first 2 rounds, but they lose to Orlando. That was the season that they were marketing the puppets, LeBron versus Kobe in the finals. There was a lot of reason to believe that the Cavs were going to make the finals that year. But nevertheless, they didn't. They lose in 6. LeBron walks off. He doesn't shake anyone's hand. People call him out, unsportsmanlike conduct, whatever, right? 09 offseason, the Cavs are proactive. That was when they make the Shaquille O'Neal trade. They sign Anthony Parker, another shooter, right? And Anthony Parker was like a solid 6'6", so that was an upgrade. You could view it from Delonte West. Now you could plug in an actual 6'6" shooting guard, not an undersized shooting guard in Delonte West. You got Shaq. All they gave up was Ben Wallace and Pavlovich. Not much, right? And the season before this, 08-09, I think, 08-09 for Phoenix, Shaq was still pretty good for them. He gave them like 18 with like 7, 8, 9 rebounds. Yeah. So there was reason to believe that was still going to be a productive Shaq that you're adding to LeBron.
And they still had Mo Williams?
And now Mo Williams and Anthony Parker. And as well, all the other cast of characters. So they still had Boobie Gibson. They still had Delonte West. Still had Zajunas. Still had Barajal. So put it like this. 08-09, they win 66 games with Zajunas as their starting center, Delonte West as their starting shooting guard. Now you signed Anthony Parker and you traded for Shaq. So now Shaq is your starting center, Parker is your starting shooting guard, and now Delonte and Zajunas are coming off the bench. So automatically you think they got deeper, right? Mm-hmm. 2 of these starters from a 66-win team are now relegated to the bench. And you would think that you upgraded their position, right? Shaq, Anthony Parker.
Yeah.
So there's reason to think, the Cavs just got better. They just addressed the issue because Dwight was dominating, abusing Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Poor Zydrunas, bro.
Yeah, that reminds me of when Shaq dominated McCullough.
Yeah. He dominated Zydrunas was like in his, I want to say, 30s, mid-30s at that point. And Dwight just abused him. So that was basically the purpose of that trade. They were trying to address that center, kind of like what the Nets did when McCullough got abused by Shaq, and then they traded for Dikembe.
Yeah, they were like, Dikembe's our solution?
Yeah, he's supposed to stop Shaq. Yeah. So they trade for Shaq, and that's supposed to be the solution to slow down Dwight Howard, right? That season, Cavs go the 09-010 season or 09-10 season. The Cavs go 61-21.
So they lose 5 games.
Yeah, but they're still a 60-win team.
Still, yeah.
Still a 60-win team. LeBron wins his second MVP.
There we go.
And don't forget, during that regular season, they make the other trade. So they trade Zadrunas and
for Antoine Jameson?
The Antoine Jameson trade, basically.
Yeah.
And then they basically get Zadrunas back.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at the Cavs really like this team is supposed to be good. You upgraded from Delonte to Anthony Parker. You upgraded from Varejao / Ben Wallace to Antoine Jameson, and you upgraded from Zadrunas to to Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, all upgrades.
And these 3 dudes are now just coming off your bench. So now your bench should be strong. Everything was looking up for Cleveland, right? They won 61 games, right? League's best record for the second straight season.
Second
MVP. Everything is looking good for Cleveland, bro. Cavs, honestly, if you look at their roster, I'm gonna run through. This is a good roster. Mo Williams, Anthony Parker, LeBron, Jameson, Shaq, Daniel Gibson, Delonte West. Who else did they have? Jamario Moon, Varejao, Zadrunas Ilgauskas. Who else did they have? J.J. Hickson.
That's a solid 10.
That's a solid team, bro. And they had a rookie, Danny Green. Did you know that?
No.
Danny Green was on the 09-10 Cavs, but he
got drafted by the Cavs?
But he didn't get any burn for them.
Oh, man, this is crazy.
He was on it.
And then I remember them dancing later on.
Mm-hmm. So they go into the... So they win 61. They go into the playoffs. They play Chicago in the first round with rookie Derrick Rose. Quickly dispatch them. 5 games. Get out of here, Chicago. Right?
Yeah.
They have a date now in the conference semifinals with the Boston Celtics. Through 3 games, Cavs go up 2-1. And that game 3, they actually blew Boston out. Like it was a convincing 30-point victory.
So they're looking good.
So they're looking good. You're thinking to yourself, oh, they solved it, bro. They're going to get through Boston, right? They're going to face Orlando. Cavs are looking good. They just blew the Celtics out by 30 points. They go on to lose the next 3 games, bro. And do you remember Game 5? LeBron's last home game as a Cav, or at least we thought. Cavs lose 120-88 on their home floor.
They get blown out.
That's a 32-point loss.
Yeah, they get blown out.
They lose Game 6, 94-85 in Boston. And people start speculating. Immediately, that's it. The Cavaliers are eliminated. 61-win team doesn't even make the conference finals.
Was that the end of his contract?
Yeah, that he was going to become a free agent right now.
Ah, yeah.
Remember, he walked off the TD Garden. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah, back then, yeah.
And as he's walking through the little tunnel thing, removes his jersey. And you know how the writers are. They immediately start speculating. Yeah. LeBron just took off his jersey. I remember, I think it was Mike Breen legit said, LeBron James' season is over. It's his career in Cleveland over. As they're showing LeBron taking the jersey off.
Damn.
So you know people start speculating, right? Now we finally go into 2010 offseason. Free agency starts. 6 teams are trying to get LeBron on their team. Or I think it might have been 7. Let's count. Nets. Knicks. Cavs. Bulls. Heat. Clippers. Those are the front runners. 6 teams.
The Clippers were involved in this?
Clippers, yeah.
I don't remember that.
6 teams are trying to pitch LeBron, bro. And this was the 2010 offseason. There was a lot of free agents. But obviously the main attraction was LeBron. Remember, teams were trying to clear their cap space years in advance, bro. Since 08, teams were already trying to clear in preparation of 2010. Trying to clear some cap.
I think there were some teams, I think mostly the Nets. They literally had nobody coming back the next year.
Yeah, the Nets, when they made the Vince Carter trade, you knew okay, they're officially in tank mode. They're thinking towards the future. They're trying to clear.
No, but it was crazy. It was literally 2 guys, maybe, were left for the next year.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take
they just had everybody's contract ending.
That was Miami
that year.
Miami, I don't know. If the Nets did that, I know Miami did too. I don't know if you're mixing it up.
It was wild.
Miami literally positioned themselves.
Yeah.
So everyone came off the books.
So they would have one guy.
Besides Dwayne Wade. And I think it was Michael Beasley, but then they did a sign and trade to get Beasley off the books.
Yo, they had one guy on their team.
But look, so teams are trying to clear cap space, right?
That's when you know they're really like trying. Like there's no hiding this.
No hiding it at all.
Yeah.
Look, with the thing with Miami, actually, people didn't realize that that's what Miami did until they became like, oh, Miami can actually, like, there was a moment of realization where they were like, oh man, all these dudes are coming off their books. They're gonna have a lot of cap space, and then I feel like that's when Miami kind of entered that picture and became one of these 6 teams. Who knew?
Like Miami knew secretly, like about the decision and everything.
I mean, not about like that he was gonna sign with them, but they put themselves in a position to even be able to do it.
I would love to know. Like, imagine if he comes out later on, he's like, "Yeah, I already talked to Wade. Like, I knew I was gonna go there after the end of the game against Boston, and I took my shirt off. We had already talked about it. It was already set. I just wanted to make it a show."
That might be something that will get revealed like 20 years down the line.
That'd be so
when
cool.
He's long retired.
Yeah.
He'll be like, yeah, I knew. But even then, you never know. But the day comes, man, July 8th, 2010. That was the day of the decision.
Yeah.
They host the thing on ESPN.
Like, that's kind of like what Kawhi did. Like, right now, before he went to the Clippers, he was, like, testing teams.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? Where he was kind of like...
Because it's the whole player empowerment era, which was started by LeBron. Now the players...
Crazy.
But, like, when KD signed with Golden State, I didn't like it just because we knew Golden State was just going to beast. And, bro, by all means, the next 3 years, 4 years, it kind of... It wasn't really that competitive. Like, you knew Golden State was going to win it. You know what I mean? But by all means, I do like that the players have more power now.
I wonder how people felt when Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and all those guys got together. Like, did they feel the same way?
I mean...
Like, imagine if we were living in that era.
No, but that one was different because Jordan was already on the Bulls. And remember, the Bulls drafted in that Scottie Pippen draft, they drafted Old and Polynice. Seattle drafted Scottie Pippen, and then they just traded. So the Bulls did nothing wrong there. They just traded draft
but
picks.
after that, then they got Rodman, didn't they?
Yeah, but Rodman was a free agent that came with some baggage. Like, if you watch The Last Dance...
I haven't watched it.
You didn't watch The Last Dance?
No, it's on Netflix.
Like, when they signed Dennis Rodman...
I gotta watch it.
When the Bulls signed Dennis Rodman, people were actually saying, like, is Dennis Rodman going to be a distraction to the Bulls? Because of all his antics.
Nobody said that about KD.
About him being a distraction to the Warriors?
Yeah.
Man, not that I know of, bro.
It's crazy, right? Because now it's like him and Kyrie are just distractions now.
All I know people were saying was Golden State won 73 games, and they legit just got arguably one of the greatest scorers in the game to just join their team. And they didn't lose much. They lost Harrison Barnes. They lost Barbosa. They lost Andrew Bogut. Some people were saying, oh, Golden State's not going to have that. But come on, bro. You're going to tell me that losing Barbosa, Andrew Bogut, Mo Spates, and Harrison Barnes, but acquiring KD, that's like a negative? You just got KD.
Yeah, it's still KD.
And you know how these teams are. Once they get good, the David West of the world are going to be like, oh, man, I'm ring chasing. I'm going to sign for the minimum.
Yeah, like
and you make up...
What Cousins did was just...
And you make up that so that Maurice Spates loss just gets filled by David West. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Andrew Bogut loss gets filled by JaVale McGee, Zaza. You know, all you have to... You just basically have to fill it with competent players. You know, but for the most part, you still got KD. So the power... And I say that to say because this was the whole player empowerment era. They got started by LeBron in 2010 when he had all these teams going gaga for him, bro.
Yeah, they're all just like destroying their books.
The Nets went all in for him, struck out, and then they had to sign Travis Outlaw, Jordan Farmar.
Yeah, that destroyed them for a while, man, because they were just like, they had nobody, and then you're just adding like bums after that.
Yeah, basically, a lot of these teams, the Knicks ended up getting lucky. I guess you could say they settled for Amari, but obviously it kind of is settling because you didn't get LeBron. The Nets didn't get him. They ended up getting like Jordan Farmar, Travis Outlaw, these whack dudes. Cavs automatically take a hit. You literally just lost LeBron.
Yeah.
Clippers, they don't get him. But they ended up getting lucky because they drafted Blake Griffin the year before. But we never... Even the Clippers, when they struck out on LeBron, they were an okay team until they got Chris Paul. But that's a whole other thing. Where did they never get Chris Paul?
Yeah, the whole drama with the Lakers and all that.
And then the only team that really left this kind of like, yeah, we didn't really lose much, was the Bulls. Because the Bulls lost out on LeBron. But then remember, that season, the Bulls, I think, finished 60. So this is 10-11 season. Bulls finished with the best record in the league, 61 wins. And then they play Miami and whatnot. So we're getting ahead of ourselves. But the Bulls were probably the only team of these 6
that still had a squad.
That still had a squad. And were legit in title contention, right? But July 8th, the decision happens. Mm-hmm. LeBron makes his decision. They're kind of beating around the bush. He's talking to who was it? Jim Gray, I think it was.
I forget.
But finally those words come out of his mouth.
Yeah.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
And mind you, I think it was it was a couple of days before this, Bosh already agreed to sign with Miami. So Bosh signed first. He left Toronto. He joined the Heat.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that was when people were really starting to speculate. When Bosh signed, they were like, yo, Miami legit has enough cap to legit sign LeBron. Is this going to become a big 3? Yeah, and people were speculating that LeBron was going to sign with Miami.
Oh, so it wasn't that much of a surprise.
Not that much, honestly.
Yeah.
July 8th comes and he signs with the Heat, bro.
Nice.
So now, the Miami Heat legit just formed the big 3. They have Dwayne Wade.
The Heatles.
They got LeBron. They got Chris Bosh, and they just formed the Heatles, right?
Yeah.
The whole backlash starts, right? I don't know if you remember Cavs fans burning his jerseys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
LeBron's a traitor.
Definitely, man. That was like when you do that, I don't think you're really a fan. Like if you're gonna say, hey man, like he played for us for this long, and he wants to go to another team, you're gonna burn his jersey?
Yeah.
Like.
And some people were saying that.
Man?
Some people were thinking that exact same way. There was mixed emotions. Some people understood. They were like, hey, LeBron gave you 7 years. He gave you everything he could. The supporting cast wasn't good enough. He went off to greener pastures. And then some people were just like, no, LeBron, you said you had one goal, which was to win a championship for Cleveland, and you weren't going to stop until that happened. And then you signed with Miami.
Well, we know the future. So I'm just saying, like in any job, this is just life advice. Mm-hmm. This is just a quick side note. Life advice, right? You don't quit a job and do it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Okay? So LeBron James, he leaves as a fan. You don't trash the guy and then expect him to come back to you and him be happy.
But another thing people were saying, because they didn't like the whole decision thing. They didn't like that it was televised and whatnot. We know now that it was a fundraiser thing. They gathered up some millions for a Boys and Girls Club as part of the decision. But Cleveland fans were just like, dude, you really went on national TV to tell us that you're signing somewhere else? So they viewed that as him spitting in their face, right?
Bro, either way, man. Let the guy spit in your face.
I mean, you never know, but
you never know if he comes back.
But you can't also blame them for being passionate fans. And, bro, the Cavs and the city of Cleveland has so many hardships. LeBron was supposed to be their savior, and he left. And, bro, people legit thought that the day would never come where he goes back to Cleveland.
Let's just give a little foreshadowing real quick. If I was an owner of a team, mm-hmm. if I owned my own team. So wait,
so I'm going to interject. So this goes to what I was going to say next.
Okay, go.
The Dan Gilbert letter.
All right, you go first.
So Dan Gilbert, remember he writes the letter calling LeBron his decision the most cowardly thing you ever saw, traitor.
Yeah.
I even read online. Did you know that one of Dan Gilbert's companies is that Fathead thing?
Oh, that's his company?
Yeah.
What the heck?
So they were on that website. They were selling the Fatheads of LeBron for $99.99, $100 for a Fathead of LeBron. When LeBron signed with Miami, they changed the price. I read this online of the LeBron Fatheads to $17.41.
So they just wanted people. They wanted to get rid of him.
1741 was. I don't know what he did, but you know how people say Benedict Arnold? That was the year that Benedict Arnold did whatever he did.
Oh.
1741, that was the year.
Oh, he like tied it to that.
1741, because LeBron was now Benedict Arnold. Right?
Dude, this guy's nasty, dude.
Dan Gilbert does all those things. He gets fined by the league for that letter he writes that he posts on the Cavaliers website.
This guy's a nasty guy, man.
And you know what's funny, bro? When that happened, the decision, when LeBron signed with Miami, I'm not going to lie. I went on NBA.com and I went to the Cavs website. I legit saw it come up. It legit said, like, the message, the letter that Dan Gilbert wrote, it was plastered on the Cavs website. Like, when you went on it, it legit just came up and it said, a message to the Cavaliers fans, tonight our so-called chosen one turned his back on the city of Cleveland, cowardly move, all that. I remember seeing that on my screen, bro, on the Cavaliers website.
Yo, that's so disrespectful, man. That's super disrespectful.
And when this happened, bro, like, I remember I cleared out my day, bro. I cleared out my day so I was home at night to watch the decision. I think you said you didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch it. I watched the replay after.
Bro, I legit made it a thing. I was like, dude, I need to know where LeBron's going. Because you also got to take into consideration there was a glimpse of hope that he was going to the Nets. Because there was the whole Jay-Z thing, remember? That's what they were using.
I'll be honest, I hated that whole thing.
The whole Prokhorov, he's going to open up the books.
I hated it so much. I was just like, just because you're going over there, now you think it's better. Screw you guys.
That's what they were pitching LeBron on. The move, Jay-Z and LeBron are close friends. The Nets have cap space. They have a pick that could potentially be number 1, so they could draft John Wall and have cap space after even getting LeBron. And it was a good pitch. You can't lie. It was a good pitch. But ultimately, we know what happens. He goes to Miami, right?
Yeah.
The Dan Gilbert letter, backlash from fans, bro. LeBron becomes one of the most hated athletes in the NBA overnight.
Basically, what I was just saying, if I'm an owner, dude, I talk to the guy and I'm like, yo, come back whenever you want. Like we still need you, man. Like, just come back.
But
what is wrong with this guy?
Definitely.
I'm telling you, when you leave a job,
don't leave on
a bad note.
Yeah, to move on. LeBron's now a member of the Miami Heat.
And guess who's the man in Miami?
Dwayne Wade.
No, Pat Riley.
Oh, Pat Riley, yeah. Well, he orchestrated everything.
Bro, that's how you're supposed to do it.
El Jefe.
Don't mess around with the guy that's going to bring you a championship.
With the slick back hair.
Yeah. You heard what, just to bring it up real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what he told Joel Embiid.
Who, Pat Riley?
Yeah.
Okay. Something about, it was some tampering, right?
Yeah, he was like, dude, if you're not happy,
just come to Miami.
Just come to Miami.
Simple as that.
No, this is what you're supposed to do as an owner.
He was like, dude, we've proven that, we could win some titles.
Yes.
We have 3 in our franchise's history.
Yes. Don't like, be an asshole and then, like, expect everybody to come to your team. Same thing with the Knicks. Everybody on the radio says it. The main reason why, even Kevin Durant said it.
Ownership.
The main reason why he didn't go there was because of ownership.
Yeah.
Because who wants to play for you?
Just all that crazy stuff you hear about the Knicks.
Why would you want to play for a guy who just so much drama, no respecting of the players? Like, yeah, I know Oakley, like, might have been drunk or whatever.
But he was a Knicks legend.
You don't have to ban him from the friggin' stadium forever. Like, you gotta respect some of these guys, man. Like, yeah, maybe he's drunk. Find him help.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? But, alright, you go.
So, 10-11 season, Miami now goes into the season.
I'll be a good owner. But
10-11 season, the 10-11 season, Miami now has a big 3. They go into that season, and they win 58 games. They go 58-24.
The Heat.
Yeah, Miami.
What the Cavs do, you know?
I think the Cavs were like 17-65. Yeah. It was horrible.
Complete opposite record.
But a couple highlights from this first season, right? If you remember, LeBron was playing the villain role that season, remember? LeBron wasn't helping his case as, like, the most hated athlete in the NBA. He was doing some crazy wild shit during that season. But first thing up, through 17 games, Miami goes 9-8 that season. Remember, they started off 9-8, leading.
Yeah, it wasn't like coming out of the gate strong.
No, definitely not. They were 9-8. I don't know if they were 9-8 or like 11-8, something like that. But they didn't have a good record leading into their December 2nd game. LeBron's return to Cleveland. December 2nd, 2010. The Cavs fans were letting LeBron have it, bro. Packed house, mayhem, bro.
That's not how you do it, man.
Booing him, all types of disrespectful chants, signs, Akron hates you. I remember one dude legit in the crowd had a sign that because they showed it on TNT when that game happened, and it said like 11-8, did you leave your talents in Cleveland? Because Miami wasn't off to a hot start. But remember, they were gelling, right?
Yeah, man. No, I remember that whole season was kind of like, when are they going to get their groove?
We're going to get into that. December 2nd game, return to Cleveland. LeBron drops 38. Heat blowout Cleveland, 118-90.
Yeah, this was... You knew they were going to blow them out.
Right? After that, it was like as if that...
They still had Udonis Haslem.
I'm going to get into all that.
Oh, all right.
Let's run through it. So after that game, that was basically like the game that catapulted and turned around Miami's season.
Mm-hmm.
They were like 9-8, 11-8. They finished 58-24, right? So after that, they turned the season around. They make it to the playoffs. They get through, I think it was Philly. I don't know who they played in the second round. But they play Chicago in the conference finals. Beat them in 5. Oh, I think the second... Yeah. This is what they did. First round, they beat Philly. Second round, they beat Boston. And remember, there was like a big thing. Like, LeBron finally got past the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
Third round, they beat Chicago, right? They make it to the NBA Finals.
Against the Spurs.
No.
Against the Thunder.
10-11.
The Thunder.
Mavericks, bro.
Oh my God, how did I forget? It's Mavs, yeah.
10-11.
They blocked them for the first one, yeah.
10-11. They play Dallas. The roster's not all the way there yet. If you look at that roster, they didn't have the guys that they would eventually get, which we're going to get into. They had Carlos Arroyo.
Yeah.
They had like James Jones, Udonis Haslem, Joel Anthony, Mike. I think Mike Miller was the other big name outside of the big three. It was like LeBron, Wade, Bosh, and then your fourth best player is Mike Miller.
Yeah.
So that's a significant drop-off, right? Nevertheless, they make it to the finals. Lose in 6 to Miami.
To the
Mavericks.
Which is awesome.
Everyone who was getting on LeBron is having a field day right now. Yeah. Everyone was happy.
No, I wasn't like happy that he lost. I was happy that the Mavs won.
But I know me personally, I didn't want Miami to win. I was rooting for Dallas.
You were rooting against them.
I thought Miami was going to win. I thought they were going to win. But who did I want to win?
Yeah.
Dallas.
Oh, you did.
Bro, I was totally against this whole Miami Big Three thing. I hated it.
Oh, cool.
Because I was the type of person that was either LeBron comes to the Nets or he just stays in Cleveland.
No, I definitely liked that he was going against the Mavs. Like, if he wasn't going against the Mavs, any other team, I would have wanted the Heat to win.
But nevertheless, you got your wish, bro. Mavs win in 6. Do you remember the post-game press conference when they get eliminated?
Was that the one where he's like, I'm LeBron, pretty much?
He was basically like, I'm LeBron and you guys are all peasants.
Yep.
And I'm going to continue to live my good life, even though I lost, and you guys have to go to your regular same old jobs tomorrow and live the same old life.
Yeah, that's a classic one where I bash LeBron.
Yeah, you mentioned that in our last video.
I bash LeBron about that all the time. Because I don't like the way that he acted there. Like, that wasn't cool.
And he got backlash for that.
Obviously, everybody knows we're not LeBron.
Yeah.
We obviously know that.
And he got backlash for that, bro.
Yeah, he deserved that one.
And this ties back to what I said about that whole season. LeBron was doing some wild, crazy shit that was feeding into his villain role and people hating him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People were ecstatic, bro, that the Mavericks won. That the Mavericks beat this manufactured team. Because Dallas, for the most part, they did it the right way. They were doing some trades, some little light free agent signings, but it was nothing like this. And one thing I forgot to mention too, bro, about that 2010 offseason, was, you remember, and this ties back as well to people hating on LeBron. Do you remember when they did that whole little party thing for the big three?
Oh yeah, the not five.
Not five, not six,
yeah,
not seven.
Yeah.
Which is funny too, because people don't give LeBron so much shit for this. We know LeBron goes back to Cleveland later on, right?
Yeah.
But I honestly think it was because Miami was declining. Because there's no way that in 2010 you're saying not 7. So if you're thinking you're going to win 7 titles with Miami in 2010, you're automatically penciling yourself saying you think you're going to be with Miami in 2017.
Yeah.
But we know, obviously, that wasn't the case. It was a lot shorter, right? 11-12 season, Miami goes 46-20. They made a couple little roster moves. They're finally filling out the roster. December 2011, they signed Shane Battier.
Shane, that's defense, baby.
Right? They go 46-20 in the lockout shortened season. They go down 3-2 to Boston. And people were thinking, oh man,
back again.
These guys are going to choke again. Boston is up 3-2 on you guys. Boston's going to close it out in Boston, Game 6. Advance to the NBA Finals. And it's just another failed year for LeBron and for this Miami experiment. Game 6, LeBron has one of the best games of his career, bro. That 45 piece that he laid on Boston in the Boston Garden.
Yeah.
And we know what happens. Miami comes back. They take it in 7. They advance to the NBA Finals.
OKC Thunder.
Beat the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, with Kevin Durant and Westbrook.
And James Harden. And Serge Ibaka.
And Serge Ibaka. And Nick Collision.
Beat him in 5, bro.
Nick Collision. Right. So that's it. LeBron championship.
So LeBron finally gets his ring, right? 2012. This is what everything was about. Him leaving Cleveland, going to Miami. He wanted to be around some talent, win a title. That offseason, Miami doesn't stay complacent. They signed Ray Allen and they signed Rashard Lewis.
That Ray Allen trade.
That Ray Allen trade was crazy, bro.
Yeah, that was all right. So that
was when I really started hating on him.
Yeah, this is the Kevin Durant to Warriors thing.
To a lesser extent.
Because he literally went from Celtics that got beat by him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ray Allen was on that team that got beat by LeBron.
Yeah.
And then he went to them.
And he joins them.
So then Ray Allen started getting hate.
Yeah. From Celtics and stuff.
Yeah, he started getting some hate. Like, because every time they would talk, like, oh, are you still talking to Paul Pierce? Are you still talking to Kevin Durant?
Mm.
And they'd be like, no comment, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was
to
just
Kevin
like,
Garnett, you mean?
Yeah. Like, they would ask Kevin Garnett or Paul Pierce, like, what's up with Ray Allen? They'd be like, no comment.
Yeah.
So then
there was a strain in that big 3 relationship.
Yeah, man.
He goes and he joins Miami, bro.
But that's why, like, when Kevin Durant did that, I'm like, dude, like, I know LeBron didn't do it, but they got Ray Allen.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, just because LeBron didn't do it that it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, it still matters. You got Ray Allen, one of the best shooters ever.
Yeah, to me that was a crazy signing, bro.
Yeah, man.
You're like, yo, you guys already have a big 3. Crazy big 3. And you just signed Ray Allen, bro? Took him away from arguably your biggest threat in the East.
Yeah.
He just jumped ship and joins you guys.
He was like, I want to dance with you guys.
So what that culminates in 2012-2013 season, Miami goes... Bro, I did not know that Miami had this type of season. Miami...
68?
66-16.
66, okay.
He goes 66-16 in the 12-13 season. Moving along, we're just going to jump straight to the NBA Finals. They make it back to the NBA Finals.
Spurs.
Go down 3-2 against San Antonio.
Yes.
By all means, it looks like...
That game is legendary.
By all means, it looks like they're going to lose, bro.
The Game 6, right?
Yeah, they were bringing out the tape for the title celebration and everything in Miami. We know what happens. Ray Allen,
man.
bails LeBron out.
Crazy. It was like corner 3, right?
Corner 3.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Heat win Game 6, nail biter in overtime.
That was one of the best games I've ever seen, man.
That was one of the best series I've ever seen.
That was so good.
Game 7, they beat the Spurs as well.
Because they had Kawhi, right? The Spurs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was also like the beginning.
They beat the Spurs in Game 7 in a wire-to-wire game.
It was a good-ass game.
The Miami Heat are now back-to-back NBA champions. 13-14 season, they go 54-28 with basically the same roster. They bring back the same cast of characters.
Ray Allen still there?
Yeah. Ray Allen, Rashard Lewis. They got Birdman now.
Damn. They had Rashard Lewis?
Yeah, they had Rashard Lewis.
When they beat the Spurs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, that's a squad.
Bro, if Miami really wanted to, they could have put Dwayne Wade at point guard. Ray Allen at shooting guard. LeBron at the 3. Shane Battier at the 4.
What about Chris Bosh?
And Chris Bosh at the 5.
That's a crazy team.
That's an insane team, bro. And that's a testament to Pop.
And that's Lewis on the bench.
Lewis on the bench, Mario Chalmers, Mike Miller.
Yeah, because even Mario Chalmers had that crazy shot.
Mm-hmm. They had Birdman, for whatever that was worth. They had Birdman.
Udonis Haslem still there.
Udonis Haslem is still there.
Yeah, man.
Pretty official team, bro.
I think he got his jersey retired, right, Haslem?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Or he's going to. He's going to. I think he hasn't retired yet.
He was scrappy, dude. He was one of those guys that he's like a glue.
Yeah, he's a Miami Heat lifer. He deserves it. He's been there for all their titles. 13-14 season, Heat go 54-28 with the same cast of characters. Just run through it, bro. They qualify for the NBA Finals again. So all 4 seasons that LeBron is in Miami, up to this point, he's made it to the Finals.
Yeah.
They're 2 for 3 so far.
Yeah.
Right? This season right here, they make it to the Finals. They get mollywopped by the Spurs.
Spurs again, yeah.
Mollywop, bro.
Yeah.
That basically means spanked.
Yeah.
They lose in 5, bro. To the Spurs.
Yeah.
By an average of 14 points per game. Did you know that is the largest margin of victory in NBA Finals history?
Damn, so they made history on them.
The Spurs.
Shit.
Dwayne Wade was getting injured up to this point.
Yeah.
He was slowing down. And all of a sudden, we go into the offseason, and now it's looking like a possible return for LeBron to Cleveland.
Because that was free agency now?
Yeah, now we're going into the 2014 offseason.
So wait, he signed for like 5 years?
When he re-signed with Cleveland?
No, when he signed with the Heat.
I think it was 4.
4? Okay.
Yeah. Or it might have been 5 with an opt-out. He opted out on the 5th season.
Yeah.
Right? A little bit about Cleveland, bro. These 4 seasons, they've been horrible.
Yeah.
They've been horrible.
They had like 2 number 1 overall picks.
They
right?
got the number 1 pick in 11.
Yeah,
they got Kyrie.
Yeah.
They got the number 1 pick in 13. Took Anthony Bennett.
Terrible pick.
And in this offseason, they get the number 1 pick in that draft, 2014 draft.
Swiggins.
So, July 11th, LeBron makes his announcement, bro, that he's coming back to the Cavaliers. All of a sudden, the Cavs' plans change. Right? They have that Andrew Wiggins number 1 pick. They flip that for Kevin Love. Now, all of a sudden, there's a big 3 in Cleveland.
Yo, that squad is cool when they did that.
They got Kyrie, they got LeBron, they got Kevin Love. Right? All of a sudden, things look really bright in Cleveland again. Cavaliers are looking like title contenders heading into the 14-15 season. Or excuse me, they're looking like the favorites to win it, honestly.
Because this is Kyrie. He's already had like a few years in the league.
Yeah.
This is LeBron. We already know he's MVP caliber.
Yeah.
And he's just hungry. He wants that Ohio championship.
So let's go into 14-15 season. Cleveland goes 53-29. They get off to that slow start. Very reminiscent of his first season in Miami.
Makes sense. Getting used to the guys.
They pull those deals. Remember for Timofey Mozgov, J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert.
Yeah.
They're making a couple trades. I think they got Channing Frye somewhere in there. Trying to improve around the supporting cast.
Was this the Dellavedova era?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I guess you could say that the Cavs are looking at what happened in Miami and they're like, okay, we don't want to lose because we just have a strong 3, and then after that, the supporting cast is really weak. So they make some trades, right? They go 53-29, like I said. Make it all the way back to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2007.
When they got swept.
LeBron's first season back in Cleveland is a success. They make it. They're back in the NBA Finals.
Bro, so this is also, like, we didn't even mention this. That this dude apologized, the owner.
Yeah, Dan Gilbert.
Yeah.
Did he apologize?
Yeah, he was kind of like, hey, man, like, that was back then.
Yeah, but I'm willing to say, like, I'm willing to just throw all that out the window if you just come play for us.
Yeah.
Which is, yo, brother, and yes, we forgot to mention this as well. That's a testament to LeBron, bro. The dude,
Yeah, dude.
he took the high road. He was the bigger man. He said, dude, you guys did some, even the fans, you guys did some foul shit to me, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to fucking come back to Cleveland and make good on my promise to bring a title to you guys.
I personally wouldn't have done it.
Me either, bro.
But he just really wanted that championship in Ohio.
And I think LeBron deserves some credit for that, bro.
Definitely.
I know he did some foul shit when he was in Miami. Like we said, the statements and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I feel like we put these athletes on a higher pedestal, bro. I know I've said some pretty harsh things that I didn't mean.
Yeah, and he's obviously angry. He just played a game for 48 minutes, and he's really tired, and he's got all these emotions. And he's just like, hey, man, why did you suck?
Exactly, bro.
Yeah, and then he's got to respond to that. And
sometimes
like,
one person pisses us off. One person could be angry at us, and that triggers us. Imagine all these NBA fans getting on you, criticizing you. You just lost an NBA Finals.
Yeah.
That's why I don't hold that too much on LeBron, because I'm like, dude, we've all said some mean shit that we didn't mean when we were angry.
Yeah.
Just it wasn't on TV.
Yeah.
No one was in our face with a camera.
Yeah, that's why I think what the owner did was, like, he should have been, like, even more apologetic.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't enough just to be like, hey, man, just forget the past.
But in the end, LeBron goes back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
14-15 season, bro. They make it to the NBA Finals. They play Golden State in what is going to become a trend.
GSW.
First round of those playoffs, Kevin Love goes out. Kelly Olynyk does some wrestling move on him.
Yeah, I was going to say, was that the first year? And yeah.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Kyrie has some sort of leg injury. He's out.
Which is common now.
So it's basically LeBron against the 67-win Warriors. Warriors won 67 games this season, bro.
Yeah.
67-15.
They were good. That was Mark Jackson?
No, that was Steve Kerr's first year.
Oh, it was already Steve Kerr.
That was Curry's first MVP year.
Okay.
They play Golden State. It's basically LeBron just against them. Cleveland goes up 2-1 with just LeBron, Dellavedova, J.R. Smith against these Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And people start thinking, man, can LeBron do it, bro? Can he beat this team almost by himself?
No, he can't.
Golden State takes the next 3. They make the adjustment where basically it was like the first, I guess you could say, instance or appearance of the death lineup. They take Bogut out of the starting lineup.
Boy, Draymond at the 5.
They put Andre Iguodala into the starting lineup.
Yeah, Andre Iguodala was clutch, man.
So now they have Curry, Thompson, Barnes, Iguodala, and Green.
Mm-hmm.
They're running with that. Completely switches the series around. Golden State takes the next 3 games, wins the title. Andre Iguodala gets named Finals MVP.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones like the 07 Finals that you can't hold over LeBron, because you're like, dude, you were literally playing with Dellavedova and J.R. Smith. Kyrie, Kevin Love are out.
Yeah.
And you still took Golden State to 6.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever. Nevertheless, first season in Cleveland, they don't win it. 15-16 season comes. 15-16 season, bro, was honestly, aside from maybe the 2 Nets final seasons, one of the best seasons, I think, in NBA history, in my opinion, bro. So many things. That was Kobe's final season. Remember, Golden State comes back down 3-1 against OKC. And then the other one that I'm going to mention now, what happened in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I know.
So Cleveland makes it back.
That wasn't the year the Warriors broke the record?
70, how could I forget that one? 73-win
Yeah.
Warriors that season.
That was huge.
So many things that season, bro.
Nobody thought that was going to get broken.
So many things happened this season, right? That was an incredible season, 15-16. Warriors, 73-9. Make it back to the NBA Finals, coming back from down 3-1 in the conference finals against OKC.
Yeah.
Right? Curry wins unanimous MVP.
Yeah, that was the first time ever, right?
Yeah, first time unanimous MVP. Warriors are looking good in the finals, right? Coming into the finals. Cleveland, they make it to the finals as well. I think Cleveland had an easier route. They swept Detroit. I think they won in, I don't know who they played in the second round, but basically Cleveland, they make it back to the finals as well. In the finals, remember, they go down 3-1 to Golden State.
Yep.
it's looking like the Warriors are going to win it. And this is another one, bro. I always take credit for this. I called Toronto. 16, I called Cleveland. I remember I was talking to Juan, our cousin. I was like, who you got? He said Golden State. I said Cleveland. Cavs are down 3-1.
You said it before
Before the finals even started, I was like, I'm picking Cleveland.
I was like, if you pick them 3-1.
No, I was like, I'm picking Cleveland in the finals. Mm-hmm. Warriors go up 3-1.
So you're like kind of nervous, huh?
But I did sway off of it. I was like, I'm still going with Cleveland. And we know what happens, bro. Cleveland comes back from down 3-1.
Yeah.
Win the first title for the city of Cleveland, for the state of Ohio in 50 years.
Yeah.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Yeah,
right?
He says that, yeah. Down 3-1, they came back.
The highest of moments for Cleveland, I would say professional sports, bro. You came back from down 3-1, the only team to do that.
Yeah, I think all the other teams have struggled. So, yeah, I think it's got to be that.
16-17 season, they bring back the same cast of characters. 51 wins, right? Make it back to the NBA Finals. Play Golden State. But this time, Golden State has a new toy in their arsenal.
Durant.
Golden State, they're like, okay, we just lost the finals. We about to go take Kevin Durant. About to go take that boy KD.
And they win.
They get Kevin Durant. They beat Cleveland in the 17 finals 4-1. What does that lead to? Kyrie's not happy anymore. Kyrie is not happy anymore. 17 offseason, Cavs ship Kyrie to Boston for Jay Crowder. You know that trade?
Yeah. Bad trade.
17-18 season, Cavs won 50 games. This season they had that hodgepodge. They had they had Derrick Rose, they had Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, that was a weird season.
They were
just getting names.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't getting like the best players. They were just getting who's got a famous name.
And they got off to a rocky start too. And then in the trade deadline they blew it up. They traded all these dudes. They traded they traded D Wade.
So they knew it was over.
They traded Rose. They got all these weird players. Remember the Jordan Clarkson, the Larry Nance, all these dudes. At this point, pretty much when Kyrie left, you could say that you officially closed the championship window for Cleveland with LeBron there.
Yeah.
It wasn't looking good. So that season they go back to the finals, get swept by Golden State. At this point, it's looking like this once rivalry is now just completely lopsided.
Yeah.
Cleveland
Warriors are going to keep dominating.
Cleveland no longer has Kyrie. Golden State has Kevin Durant. They just swept LeBron out of the playoffs. So that basically leads to the end of LeBron James' era in Cleveland. That offseason, July 1st, 2018, he goes and he signs with the Lakers. Lakers, their first season with LeBron, they don't do too well. 37 wins. But they had that young, unproven cast. That Brandon Ingram, the Lonzo Balls. That offseason, they get AD. And the rest is history. We're in the 1920 season. Lakers are currently 49-14. First in the West. Looking like title contenders.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people going for the Lakers.
I think the Lakers could win it, bro. But that's basically where we are right now, bro. So I gave you the backstory about the time before the decision. So basically, it ended up becoming a timeline of LeBron's career. But like I told you off camera, this literally only works with LeBron because it starts Cavs history to try to get LeBron, or the events that led to them getting LeBron, the multiple failures with LeBron that ultimately led to the decision, and the backlash, his time in Miami, and championships, ultimately some turn of events that led to him going back to Cleveland and fulfilling his promise to
the chosen one,
the fans of Cleveland, and eventually kind of more proven bad management by the Cavs that led to LeBron leaving a second time. And now, a couple little side notes as well. When LeBron re-signed in 2014, I remember it was like another little Miami-esque conference thing, but it was just him, and it was way more humble. He did it in Ohio. He was addressing the fans, and he was saying some things along the lines of like, "I'm here for good." Like, I'm in Cleveland and I'm here for good. I guess he was running off emotions. He's back in Cleveland. People don't give him credit. People don't give him like shit for that. But obviously that wasn't the truth.
I think they learned their lesson, man. Like, you don't want to do that.
Obviously that wasn't the truth. He ends up on the Lakers.
But still, even if you lied, like, it's not. Like, come on, man. You got your championship.
Yeah, obviously.
Come on, man.
No, obviously now, bro, LeBron and the Lakers now, when he goes back to playing Cleveland, they don't boo him like when he went back in December 2010.
They shouldn't.
Definitely not. The guy gave you a title, and they don't do it. Because I think now they realize, like, yo, dude, you came back, you fulfilled your promise. And I think now they realize the second go-around that, honestly, some of the Cavs management decisions wasn't wavy, bro. It wasn't. They lost Kyrie. Like, what do you want LeBron to do? Just ride it out with JR, Larry Nance, Jordan Clarkson. Obviously, the writing was on the wall. Their championship window was gone. LeBron had to move on to other things. He took his talents to Hollywood. He wanted to shoot Space Jam. And that's where we are right now.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, man, it's just smart. Like, you don't want to be one of those guys that, like, gets out of the NBA and you're just like, well...
The only thing I thought that was weird about it was... I thought it was a little weird that he went to the Lakers because I'm like... Because, remember, the players obviously don't view it this way, but the fans, we were like, it's Kobe versus LeBron, Kobe versus LeBron. And then, now, literally, both players have played for the same franchise. And now you could say it's a thing with LeBron where it's another challenge. It's, can LeBron bring some titles to LA? You know, can he endear himself to the Lakers fans, like, kind of almost like how Kobe did? Because Kobe, during his time there, rest in peace, five titles up there, 5 banners. Mm-hmm. LeBron, it's your time to show and prove. Can you bring some titles here?
But if he doesn't, like...
If it doesn't, I mean, he's still a 3-time champ. But you never know. That could be something for LeBron to be like, okay, this is a new... He might not say it, but in his head, he could be like, this is a new challenge for me now. I want to continue Lakers lore, bring some titles up here, some banners. For people to say, LeBron James put some titles up for the Lakers. One of the most storied franchises, them and the Celtics. But that's basically it, man. The decision, bro. One of the craziest, like, bro, just all the mayhem that came around that, bro. And you really just, you realize just how invested people are fanatics.
Yeah, some people are pretty hardcore.
About some dude, like, just making a decision for his job, man. This is his livelihood, you know? He wanted to go...
And you saw it. Like, Dwayne Wade, he's from Chicago. After Miami, he tried to go to Chicago.
Yeah.
He left Chicago real quick, man.
Yeah, like, it didn't work out.
Miami's pretty dope.
Yeah, Miami, they ran well. Even right now, they got a little scrappy competitive
even
team.
Like the environment. Like, I've been to Chicago. I've been to Miami. You want to be in Miami.
Yeah.
Like, you want that... The lifestyle's nicer. Like, you got, like, all these clubs and, like, the Spanish vibe.
And Cleveland.
The beach.
In Cleveland?
Yeah, what's in Cleveland? You don't even have a beach.
No disrespect to Cleveland, but we know Joakim Noah said that. Yeah. Joakim said it. What's so good about Cleveland? I mean, we're just saying there's differences, bro. One place is popping, one place is not. Miami, another thing too, they don't have like that state income tax.
Exactly.
So many things.
You're getting so many benefits.
So many things that could have benefited. Exactly, just for playing in Miami.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you? Plus, I think there's a lot of opportunity in Miami to do more in sports. Like, I know, like, I don't know if you follow it, but like a baseball player, Derek Jeter, and like a soccer player, David Beckham,
right?
They've made new franchises where they're running franchises in like different sports.
Right.
Like Derek Jeter, I think he's part of the Miami Marlins now. He used to be the Yankees shortstop.
Yeah. Like
David Beckham, he's part of like a soccer team in MLS.
Yeah.
In Florida. So there's like a lot of opportunity there to like be part of something.
Yeah.
Like the Miami Dolphins, like even like in football. Like there's a Spanish couple that like is part of like ownership there.
Yeah.
So like if you want to be a part of something, it seems like Florida's got something for you.
Yeah, I mean,
like no, you're not gonna own anything from the Lakers.
No, definitely not.
But in Miami, he could have been part of something there.
Yeah. I mean, looking back on it, 10 years later, bro, honestly, I thought it was a good decision. Because the Cavaliers had a proven record over those 7 years that they weren't, and they couldn't get talent around LeBron, bro. Even the free agents like Michael Redd, bro. Michael Redd, when they were trying to get him, he chose to go back to the Milwaukee Bucks instead of going to play with LeBron in Cleveland.
Yeah, and all those fans that trash him for leaving, like imagine if you got the Steve Francis treatment, where you're just like, yeah, I got drafted by you, but I'm not playing.
Yeah.
Like, the guy actually played for you, and you guys suck.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guy, give him a break. Like, he even wanted to play for you.
But yeah, all in all, man, LeBron is definitely, his reputation has been repaired. Like, people don't hate LeBron like that anymore, unless you're just a Kobe stan. That you're like, Kobe, F LeBron, whatever. But it wasn't like how it was back in 2010, 2011, 2012 when he was with Miami. People legit wanted to see him fail.
Yeah.
I think his reputation has been repaired. But yeah, man, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the 5230 podcast. The decision 10 years later, man. LeBron James going to go down as one of the best players to ever play.
Just so you know, like, should I show them this?
What?
This?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, so I was a Heat fan. I have a Dwayne Wade jersey. And I have this hat. It's pretty cool. That's it.
But yeah, the decision 10 years later. With that being said, I'm the man from Jersey.
This is Swag.
Thank you for tuning in to the 5230 podcast. Once again, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. More videos coming soon. And we'll see you on the next one.
We love and appreciate all our viewers.
We love and appreciate all our viewers. Thank you. And we'll see you on the next one.
Peace.